Gen Z likes analog. They do. They like it. They like things that are real, that they can feel and touch.
Take that as you will. They like tangible things. Hey, I mean, I think that's fair. I think that's real. I get it.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about Gen Z wanting, I guess, an era that they never actually lived through, which is physical media and handwriting letters. And
yes, they want to pen pals and write letters.
It's kind of crazy.
They can't write in cursive, but they want to write letters.
Right. So we got a couple articles here. One is that Gen Z actually has an analog bag. This looks like two men sharing a man purse. They're getting ready to go to Aldi or something. I don't know what's going on here. But we also have analog hobbies are trending among Gen Z, which they talk about writing letters and cards. And millennials and Gen Z flocking to analog islands because so little of their life feels tangible.
So they're visiting or living there?
I don't know. I think they're living there. Oh, no. Yeah. They said, they're setting down their devices to paint, color, knit, and play board games. So we'll talk about this because it's really interesting to see, like, the more that we push into living in a digital space, the more humans kind of push back and they're like, we're not designed to do this. Like, we need to actually have physical media. We don't live in the Matrix. Yeah. We don't live in the Matrix yet. But then we've got these corporations that want to keep pushing us more and more into the Matrix where they can monetize us better. That's what it's all about. So before you get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get woohoo if you do. Woohoo. Go out to more.clownfishtv.com. That's moreclownfishtv.com. We've got some bonus episodes out there, and if you want to support the channel, that is the place to go because we don't have super chats or anything turned on over here for reasons. But so maybe I'll just read this one a little bit first, and then we'll go out to the analog bag.
Okay.
So this is coming from Fortune. Gen Z and millennials flock to so-called analog islands because so little of their life feels tangible.
Well, I mean, you're still in your life. There's a lot of tangible things in your life. You have dishes and stuff, right?
Right.
Apparently, entertainment doesn't feel tangible. I don't know.
They said, as technology distracts, polarizes, and automates, people are finding refuge on analog islands in the digital sea.
Okay, in the digital sea. Okay.
So wait, we're talking.
Moving to an island. Okay.
That would be kind of funny. I'm like, everybody's going like Barbados or something, or what are they doing? They're setting down their devices to paint, color, knit, and play board games. Others carve out time to mail birthday cards and salutations written in their own handwriting.
I think that's nice. To me, that's just like like normal people. To me, that's how it was when we were kids. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with this. This is a good thing, I think.
They're learning to drive stick again. Some drive cars with manual transmissions while surrounded by automobiles increasingly able to drive themselves.
I don't want to ride a car that drives itself. That's freaky as hell to me.
Did you see the ones hacks it? Oh, I was going to say, what if somebody hacks it and like drives off a cliff or something?
Beyond that, though, people were like talking about like the delivery. First of all, the cars were driving people. They were like running over animals and they were like causing problems or getting into situations where they just kept plowing through yards and stuff.
Was this Simpsons Hit and Run?
Kind of. And then they had delivery vehicles and there's pictures of them. I don't know if they're AI or not. I don't know if they are. But they had like stray cats. We're like sitting on them. Like you see the cats on the Roombas and stuff,
right?
Because it's probably warm and it vibrates, and you know how cats are. So they're
pussies like it when it's warm and vibrates.
That's right. Pussies like
it's analog. They love the analog. Warm and
vibrate. But I don't know if it's AI or not. But it honestly, it sounds like something cats would do.
Probably. They probably would. I know they were talking. They were going to have self-driving cars at Disney, and then I think
thanks.
They decided not to because I don't think guests trust them. Because like I said, what if somebody hacks the car or it just malfunctions and it like drives you off a cliff or something? You're talking about cats, and I was thinking the whole time you're talking about that, like, do you remember Saturday Night Live, Toonces, the cat that could drive?
Yes.
It always ended with Toonces like driving him off a cliff or something. I'm like, yeah, that'd be it. You're in the cab, you're just like doing your thing, and all of a sudden.
Or Groundhog Day, where he is like, don't drive angry. Don't drive angry.
Anyway, they said the past gives comfort, says Martin Bispels, 57, a former QVC executive who started Retroactive, a company that sells rock music merchandise dating to the 60s and 70s. You can define it because you can remember it the way you want.
Yeah.
Analog escapes also beckon to the members of millennials and Gen Z, those born from 81 through 2012. Younger people immersed in a digital culture that has put instant information and entertainment at their fingertips. We used to have
fingertips.
Their fingertips. That's a whole different thing. We had to work to get our entertainment back in the day. Like if you wanted an album and one record store sold out of that album, you would have to go around town and find a place to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't just fire it up on Spotify, right?
You'd have to get on the phone and call and see if anybody had it.
Right. I just drove around town, but or you'd have to have the shop owner hold it back for you, or you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was so much harder. Same with video games. You couldn't download video games if you were looking for a particular cartridge. You would have to drive around town to find that game.
See, look, I think there's some good things to having things online. Like you can go on to eBay or whatever and find things, or you can track things down easier, find out where things are, directions, things like that. But I completely get wanting to do things that are not online constantly. We've talked about it before with video games and the old consoles. People wanting that connection where you get excited because you get a letter and you want to read the letter, not just an email that can be very impersonal. Things like that. And I can see why people want that tangible, thing. Like we used to grow up, it was this everywhere, until probably the 90s. That's how it all was. Even I'd even say early 2000s. They want to go back to a time that was before that, before 2000.
So they're talking about how younger generations have an almost longing wistfulness because so little of their life feels tangible now. They're talking about cards. Postcards, I guess, writing on cards, handwritten cards, postcards.
They're doing whole groups that do handwriting. They're doing crafting groups.
Yeah,
they're doing all kinds of stuff. I'm a crafter, so I'm like, yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah, no, this is cool.
I think it's great, personally.
Anybody can send a text message that says happy birthday, but sending a card is a much more intentional way of telling somebody you care. It's something that the sender has touched with their own hand.
That's one of the slogans, back in the day, one of the card companies, they had something about when you care to send the very best and stuff like that, to show people you care by using their brand. And that's what they're putting in this article now. Yeah, it's true. And if you make the card, it's even better.
My dead skin cells are on this card.
I licked it.
I licked it. That's why people are buying bathwater too. They want that analog feeling. I said more than 15,000 people are part of this Facebook group. It's an analog Facebook group, including Billy Joel Dieter, who sends at least 100 cards per month commemorating birthdays, holidays, and other milestones. A dying art, she calls it.
That's a lot of money invested in that.
It is, and I always feel bad because we don't do Christmas cards. We don't have time to sit down and do Christmas cards.
That's why, yeah.
And I always feel bad somebody sends us stuff. I'm like, that's awesome. I don't have time for this. I don't have time to.
I send out birthday cards and stuff though.
Yeah, birthday cards, but Christmas cards. It used to be something every year. We always had the Christmas cards around the doorway when I was a kid, and then we would always send a pile of them out. And I mean, people still do it, but I feel like it's not like it used to be now. It's then we had a whole phase where people were sending the family photo, everybody's in the ugly sweater or whatever, and that was a thing. And
well, you used to make me cards.
I did.
Yes, he used to make me cards. Some of them were spicier cards. And
comic cards, yeah.
Some of them were all fun and games until your kids find the box with the cards in them.
Oh shit!
Which may or may not have actually happened.
That did happen. That was from before we were married.
It was
and that's
a year
why
ago
you're
that
here.
They found the cards, and it's like, wow.
That's why you're here, guys. That's why you're here. So, a singularity of a stick shift. They're talking about how they're going back to manual cars. Yeah,
a lot of people can drive a stick. Go ahead, go you.
Go for it, because that was a lost art too. Nobody's driving stick. Vinyl records.
We've talked about the records. We talked about the DVDs. We talked about the VHS or not VHS, DVDs and CDs and things like that.
They're going to start selling CRTs with built-in VHS players again. There's a company out there. Yeah,
now's your chance, guys, because there's VHS. VHS is dirt cheap at all the Goodwills.
Yeah, for now. But they're talking they're going to pack them with, I guess they got the rights to some movies, so they're going to come with a 5-movie collection. And they're going to come in different colors.
Want to run a VCR? It's such a pain in the ass. I get going back, but sometimes progress is good.
So this is the thing. those of us who actually grew up back then will be like, yeah, we're nostalgic for it, but we also realize that sometimes the new technology is better and more efficient. And
Are
you've
they
got
going to
more.
put the thing at the beginning that about the law and copying the VHS tapes and all that?
Oh yeah,
idiotic-
I remember on DVDs there was this whole era where they had the Wizard of Oz. Like if you copy this DVD, the Wizard of Oz is gonna kick your ass at the
Yeah, they can
beginning.
put those in VHS tapes too, and then you have Be Kind Rewind and all that stuff. And it's like, you guys, sometimes technology, it's cool when it was there, but there's a reason we don't use it anymore.
Yeah, I know, right?
There's a
Actually,
reason.
that was that Jack Black movie that was pretty good. The Be Kind Rewind, where they were making up their own movies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was pretty good.
They did that on Gumball too once.
Yeah, well, I've got a bunch of arcade cabinets, and it's always funny to see the Williams sessions. Don't use drugs, everybody, because kids were paying attention to that back in the day, right? Every arcade game had "Don't use drugs" with an official badge, and it was like, this is some bullshit. They're just pumping quarters into it. And
Speaking of Gen Z, because they're not drinking and they're going more for mocktails, they're saying like DUIs and like drunk driving incidents are down. You have a lot of incidents with people to be distracted and on their phones, but they said like alcohol related instances are down.
well, it's good because it's harder to drive a manual drunk than it is an automatic or self-driving car. So
That's
you
true.
have to pay
And
attention.
I think they said STDs and stuff like that on the decline too, because they're not out there sleeping with everybody either. So
I was
Gen
thinking
Z might know where it's at. You know what I'm saying? There might be some good things here.
I was just thinking Power Rangers. I was like, because we used to watch SPD with Squid King. STD emergency.
Grab the penicillin.
So this is really fruity. This is like two men ogling each
Oh,
other.
this is those straight men like to cuddle. Kind of mentality.
Although I don't know. I don't think any straight man would wear a scarf like that. I'm just saying.
Who knows?
There's a new IT bag. It doesn't come with a popular label, says the New York Post. Dubbed analog bags, Gen Z is buying canvas totes and they're filling them with items to help reduce their screen time.
I think it's cool. I mean, see, I think everything about this is great.
So this
I love
person,
it.
yeah, this is actually, it is cool. It's like one step toward being, a homeless bag lady, but that's
It's
okay.
not one step to be the homeless bag lady. It's just like, instead of going on, doing screen time, I think, 'cause I'm going to tell you, like when we were kids, it was like, entertain yourself. We were allowed to be bored, you had to entertain yourself. We didn't have phones like that you do now, like on the cell phones and stuff. You had to actually go out and entertain yourselves.
If you entertain yourself, there's less of a chance for STDs too.
It's true. But I'm just saying, you had to find like crafts to do or read a book or do things like that. And, you'd be like, oh, this sucks, because you'd have to go entertain yourself. And now they're like deliberately wanting to go have that time we used to complain about when we were kids. And I think it's cool, because I do think there's some of the problems I'm seeing now are people that want instant gratification for everything, and they don't know how to distract themselves or entertain themselves, or what. They have to have something going on at all times because they can't sit still.
When I was a kid, I knew better than to complain about being bored, because if I complained about being bored, I got put to work.
So did I.
So because my grandparents basically raised me, right?
If you have time to be bored, you have time to clean the house.
Yeah, if you have time to lean, you have time to clean. And that was it. Like if I would complain, so I stopped complaining about being bored, and I would just like leave the house in the morning and not come back till night. But yeah, if I complain about being bored, it's like, oh, okay, well you can sweep the garage, because my grandfather had a body shop. He's like, you can sweep the garage, you can mow the lawn. You can help me do that. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to. And it's like, okay, then shut up about being bored. He's like, I wish I had time to be bored.
Well, see, I'd get bored. My parents ran an airport, and the one local airport. So I'd get bored, and I'd have to go like clean bathrooms. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have to, but
You're bored. Shovel some shit, kid.
I'll tell you what, I'd rather clean the ladies' room
Bored.
than the men's room. I'll tell you
Who's
that
got
much.
time to be bored?
But I think it's cool though that they're like, instead of going on screens, let's do something that is creative. Let's do something that's less. There's also the whole thing too, where there's so many things flickering on screens and stuff. Don't
Like this story here, women do find men with big penises more attractive.
I saw that.
Academic study confirms.
I
Oh my
saw
God.
that. Anyway, I can't remember what I was talking about. You talking about big penis, and now I'm like totally blanking out. I was like, where? So you're just gonna look
Totally blanking out. You could be totally blacking out.
you're just gonna look on his face. I don't remember what I was gonna say. Oh no, I think there's so many
just
things.
like hum, big penis.
You can't say anything. All you do as you see tits, you just stop talking and then stare like a deer in the headlights. Anyway, I was saying, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by penises, when it comes to keeping yourself entertained, like these,
they're analog.
I can drive a
They're
stick.
tangible. You can touch them.
I have no problem driving a stick. Anyway, what I'm saying is that we're seeing a lot of parents talking about the fact that their kids are having them watch old shows and cartoons and stuff because the new stuff's so distracting and it's constantly changing. And we're seeing, it's like they're seeing like all this people that can't stay focused or something takes longer than 30 seconds, they're losing patience. You would have had a hissy when dial-up was a thing.
Oh my God.
And these kind of things teach, like, I think that they disconnect and your brain has a chance to unwind because we're now in a place where we have like 20 different tabs open at once, literally, and in our brain too, where if you can do something that's offline and your brain's engaged in other ways, and I think it's probably really good for you on a bunch of different levels besides your stress level, because I mean all that stuff it's still going to make you stressed in the back of your mind. So if you're like coloring and doing coloring books or doing projects or crocheting or things like that, you're distracted and you're focused on something else, and I think it gives you a chance to calm down. I think it would be good for you in mind and body to have these things that are outside that. Plus you learn how to entertain yourselves, behave. And that's what these things do. I think this is a really good idea. I'd recommend it for kids too, especially like some of the younger kids that are coming in that can't even read. I recommend taking them off the screens and having them, give them a bag with stuff in it that they could mess with instead. Like, hey, go play with the bag for an hour.
Here's what's in your sack. So these two men are looking in the sack. What's in their sack?
I don't know what's in their sack, but
it's a stop scrolling bag. Okay, so if you go to your phone for news, put a newspaper in your bag. It's only
that makes sense.
2 or 3 days old, and incredibly biased.
Yeah, it's true. So is social media.
So wait a second. Does that mean newspapers are going to make a comeback because they're shutting down the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette?
Now you should stick it out papers because it sounds like you might have a chance here.
Might have a chance, yeah. If it's for entertainment, try a good book for creative inspiration, sketching tools or knitting. It's just like physical fitness. Whatever activity you'll actually do is the best one to include.
Agreed. And the thing, I do all that. I read the paper. I read books. I actually I read books, and lately I wasn't able to read for a long time, and I was a huge reader. I read everything. When they were talking about things like being bored, that's what I'd be doing. You said you were outside and not come back. I would sit on a couch. I would go outside too, but like if I was in a book, I would sit down and the whole weekend I'd spend reading books. And my mom get worried. She's like, are you sitting there reading again? But it could be worse. Like now it's
damn
like,
nerd.
Get off your damn phone. Back then it was get out of that
nerd.
stupid book. No, I was a super reader.
I read quite a bit too, but I was outside all the time. I was like, that's.
I was outside here too, but I burned easily, so it wasn't as easy for me to go outside and not come back.
I don't think have I had a sunburn the entire time we've been married? I don't think I have.
I don't think so.
I get dark.
Not me,
chocolate.
man. I have 2 colors: white and lobster red. And if then
red.
I guess speckled if you consider the freckles, but
Yeah, you just like I just talk about going outside and I can just see her skin just starting to turn red. Like,
it's true.
It's like a blistering 76 degrees out there today, and
I'm out there 5 minutes and come back and like shit, I got burned.
You're like, stop! I'm melting.
I actually feel it too when it's happening. I'm like, oh shit, I'm getting burned.
It's so like I guess I'm not trying to because it's horrible when it happens. She gets really bad sunburns, but like it's so weird. She's like, okay, I'm gonna go mow the lawn, so I'm gonna put on my body armor and my big hat and my.
I have a hat. I have one of those sunscreen shirts.
I'm like, it's like 70 degrees out.
Doesn't matter.
I know it doesn't matter. I know this now. I'm like, we'd go to Florida and California, go to the theme parks and stuff. And she was like, it was a whole ritual to put all the sunscreen on and the whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, just go outside. I just get a little
Now,
dark.
our kids don't have they had a couple burns, but for the most part, they didn't get burned. So they're a much better place. That's neither here nor there. But the thing is, I'm really, really excited to see that they want to go back to things that are more tangible, because I think in general, I'd love to see things that are more tangible come back. I mean, for nostalgia reasons, I'd love to see, magazines and newspapers make a comeback. I mean, and granted, there's the whole environmental impact, but they're recyclable. I would love to see like people doing crafts. And I always get excited. I would do craft shows. And when you get younger people coming in, they were having events at the one mall that it was young entrepreneurs and it was young kids doing crafts or selling bake sales or something. They were selling their own stuff they were making. And they had they would be there for a few hours. They let them have like free places to set up. So they had like a little mini craft show, and it was just kids making things and selling them. And I thought that was amazing. But I'm also an art teacher, but I thought that was amazing. So I'd love to see this kind of stuff come back. People reading books again, people, talking to each other and not on their phones constantly, writing letters. I think all this stuff is amazing. And I'm, gardening and all. I just love it. I love everything about it.
I think this also explains kind of the uptick in retro gaming, especially handhelds like DS.
I love
prices.
that too, by the way.
Yeah, DS prices are going through the roof now, and I think it's maybe they're buying the DSs to put them in their analog bag.
It could be. I mean, it's technically. It's not connected to the internet, but I think everything about this is cool, and I think not just like because you're repurposing things that would go to landfills and stuff, but because I think it's great in the fact that I do think it impacts your body differently than the constant online connected to everything bullshit, and the pickling and the polarization. And if you're talking to people, you realize, oh wait, not everybody's what I thought they were on the internet. I think this is one of the key ways to get back to a society that actually communicates, and that you can calm yourself down, and that you learn how to be able to take not get so frustrated if you can't get your internet to work in 2 minutes and stuff like that. I think this is a great thing the whole way around.
Yeah, no, I think it's cool. I think we need to unplug. And it's so weird because one of my relaxing hobbies is actually like rebuilding computers.
It's true.
So they can get online.
I've got parts all over the place behind me.
Oh my God,
right
I was
now.
telling people that. I know.
In my office, he's taking it over. There's computers. How many computers do you have sitting in here? 1, 2, 3 computers in here, but that you have in parts.
4. There are at least 6 gaming PCs in various stages of completeness.
There's 3 in my office besides the ones that are actually together.
I spend more time building them than I do playing them, which is weird. But anyway,
I'm always crafting and making stuff. You know that.
Yeah, that's true. All right, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, sorry it went long, but I was like, wow, this is awesome. I think it's great.
It's cool.
And I was worried younger people wouldn't know how to do anything. The fact that they're learning how to do things is fantastic. I love it.
All right. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.